How's it going, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in for the video today. I really appreciate you guys taking some time out of your day to come here and hang out with me. I have a very cool video here. This is just kind of like it's going to be a little bit of like a stream of thought kind of feel here. I just have some ideas, about Marvel Rivals that I want to share. I think they're very relevant. I think they're very valid. It's actually something that we've been talking about a little bit within my Discord as well. So I thought this would be a really cool idea for a video because, if the devs see this, hey, maybe we can get some cool new things in the game. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on what I'm going to talk about. Don't be shy. Feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Real quick before we hop into this and I tell you what this is going to all be about, if you have not subscribed yet, please take a moment to do so. The button is just below the video. It takes 1 second to find it, tap it, and show some support. It's free to subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it if you did so. That being said, let's hop right into this video. All right, so what we are going to discuss right now is something I like to call state of the game. This game's been out for a little bit now. It's not super old or anything, but I would say that at this point in time, this is a really great opportunity to just kind of talk about the trajectory, maybe talk about some things that we would like to see, some things that maybe we feel like the game is lacking, just some nice feature updates, some quality of life, right? This is a really good time to do that. Games, when they are in their infancy, if the community can really come together and the devs can take notice of that, that's the best way to see changes come about. I see people often with games, especially mobile games, just complaining, but not really bringing anything to the table. So what I want to do is just offer some ideas, right? I've taken a little bit of time to think to myself, to chat with people in my Discord as well about just some ideas, some concepts. And so I'm going to give that to you guys today in kind of a presentation. Things that I think would be very nice to see in this game and would change it for the better, truthfully. So let's hop right into it. My thoughts on some quality of life changes are, well, I'm gonna keep it simple and we're just gonna do these 4 things for this video. We're gonna talk about stats, heroes, maps, and we're gonna talk about game modes as well. Stats, I've talked about this before. I don't really like how the stats are done in this game. It's an objective game and all we get are team deathmatch stats. I think it's just kind of dumb. I don't think that we're getting enough representation here as far as stats are concerned. It's really hard to know what people are actually doing and when something beneficial is actually occurring, because you can get a bunch of elims, right, and you still lose. So it's really important to understand how these things are coming about, and that's where the objective based stats come into play. So we'll talk about that here very shortly. For heroes, I've said it before too, we just need more variety, okay? Phoenix is coming out, she's a duelist, that's fine. We need more vanguards. We need more strategists. There's a lot of variety already within the duelist role. You could say that, yeah, okay, there's variety within the strategist role and within the vanguard role as well. We just don't have as many of them. And I really feel like we need more. So just my thought. For the maps, this is how games stagnate, right? They don't develop any new atmosphere for you to be playing the game in. New maps are amazing. It makes people come back. It gives a little bit more variety when you're playing in competitive, so you're not just playing the same maps over and over again. It's just nice to get a refresh. For game modes, I think that we do need some new game modes. All we really have, we only have, right, controlling the zone and then the payload. So I think that we need to see something, and I've got some really cool ideas I'm going to bring up. Let's first talk about the stats that I want right now. This is going to be really solid for the player base too, mind you. It's very difficult, like I just said a moment ago, to know exactly who is being effective in the game and who is actually helping the most. The only way to really look back and say, wow, this player changed the game because of their objective control or their objective stalling, would be to go back and rewatch the video from their perspective. We shouldn't have to do that. There should be statistics in this game that show that. We should have objective capture. We should know who is actively participating in the capturing of the objective. We should know objective stalling time. This is just like a timestamp. How much time was somebody holding off from the enemy team actually getting the objective? It's very simple to do. I would imagine that the game already recorded this to some type of degree because it does have, a stopping point in the percentage gain. It also has overtime. I don't think that this would be hard to add in, and I really think that they should do it. Stalling the objective is huge. Stealing the objective is massive. Who is responsible for pushing these team fights into the objective that ultimately result in us having the objective now instead of the enemy team? These are pretty simple stats to ask for, I think. When you look back on games like Halo, you could see how much time people spent in the hill. You could see how long they held the oddball. You knew, because that was the thing, right? You look at those stats and you say, oh, okay, let's say Bay Whale doesn't have hardly any elims this game, but he held the oddball for 2.5 minutes, for 3 minutes. You know, that way you understand that person did something still. The way the game is set up right now, if we had oddball, you would never know who was actually doing anything. You would just look at people at end game stats, and this is how things would go because the community's just so toxic about stats for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And they would look at it and say like, oh, you know, you're terrible. You didn't get any elims. Like you weren't helpful at all. But then in your mind, you're like, I held the ball the whole time. Like, what are you talking? It's just, we need evidence. We need these stats to be given to us in the game. It would be great for team play. It'd be great for strategy. It'd be great for like your own personal awareness. But man, it would help with the toxicity in the community as well. It would change the vibe because you wouldn't be able to fight about stuff because you have the evidence in front of you, right? You have the stats right in front of you. Nobody would say that. They'd be like, wow, you held the ball the whole time. Epic. Good job. Thank you. You're an amazing objective player. But we don't hear that. We never hear those words in this game at all. Wow, you did such a great job with the objective. Nobody ever says it because there are no stats. There's no reason for anyone to do it. Plays like team deathmatch, stats like team deathmatch, and quite frankly, I lose most of my games because people don't play the objective. We need these things. This is a massive quality of life request. I really hope the devs see this because it's a simple fix and it would make a world of difference. Elims while in the zone. This is another really good one as well. While you are controlling the zone, I think that there should be a separation of elims that occur when you are holding the zone. It's totally different to be fighting in the zone and be actively taking enemy players off of the map as opposed to it would be like camping their base and just getting like a random pick or like bullying them over there. I get it, there's value there and that's fine, but at the same time, the objective is the goal. The objective is the purpose. So it would be really cool just to see, even from like a fun perspective, like is that stat something that would make people not fight with each other? I don't think so, probably not, but I think it would be a really great thing to actually have access to say like, wow, I was holding the objective and I got these elims too. Like it would help people play better, I think. I think it would just be a lot more motivating to see these things be brought into the game. Let me know what you think, though. I just quite frankly, people fight about this game as if it's team deathmatch, but it's an objective-based gameplay. So I really think that we need to see objective-based stats. And now for heroes, I just want to say no more duelists for right now. For right now, let's just take a break. Okay, we need more vanguards and we need more strategists. Fine, Phoenix is a duelist. Okay, whatever. But like going forward, you know, if Blade comes out and Blade is a duelist, like I'm just going to be so annoyed, just so annoyed. We need not just more vanguards and more strategists. We need like a different variety. We need like some new skill sets brought out. I don't want to say they're the same because like obviously the kits are varying, but like in theory, they're all like the strategists. They're just kind of doing the same thing, kind of, most of them. Like there are some unique kits in there, yes. Vanguards do have more unique kit set, but I think it would just be nice to get more. We just need more variety, right? With that do different things. We have so many duelists. It's to the point where like there's no point in even banning duelists anymore because there's so many of them. It's so easy to just pick from them. I don't know if we need to see them start doing like the revolving door where like for like certain parts of each season, like some duelists are available and then other ones are not, or what. I feel like that would be messy and I feel like that would kind of take away from the fun of the game. But like at this point in time, there's zero value in even banning a duelist because there's so many of them that basically do the same thing. You ban Hela, they're just going to pick Punisher. You ban Punisher, they're just going to pick Hela. I just think I don't know. We just need more vanguards and strategists in my opinion. Let me know if you think differently, but like just flat out, there are not enough vanguards or strategists and there are too many duelists right now. We need new hero releases to fill out the other roles more. They have the empty slots available for them. Like, can we have them, please? It would just be really helpful. I want to see more maps. I do. This is the way that games stagnate. You can bring out a new hero. It's like the new shiny thing. It makes things fun for a little bit. People come back and play, but you bring new maps. That's better. That is better. I get it. It takes longer to make new maps and that kind of thing. Okay, well, take that time, please. It would just be extremely, extremely helpful. I would like to see some more like progressive maps be brought into the game too. Like a good example would be Shin Shibuya. This map isn't even playable and competitive right now. I don't know why. Maybe somebody else does. Maybe you can tell me why it's not. But I think this is a phenomenal map. And I think that it's really cool to have like some map concepts based around like you need to complete an area before you can move through. Now, I know with the door here in Shin Shibuya, you can go around it. You can access the whole map, the whole game. But it would be really cool if they did something where you couldn't do that. You have to actually fight, like really the defense can only be in the zone that you need to be trying to take over. And then once you activate checkpoint 1, then you can progress to another hard stop point for checkpoint 2, where then you need to, gain control to the next, the final third of the map or whatever. I think that would be a really, really cool concept, and they should really be thinking about it. And again, I don't know why this map isn't competitive. I've heard different things from different people about why it's not, but I feel like they should bring it in, because like when you play competitive, you're just playing the same maps over and over again, and like it's already verging on being a little boring, maybe. Maybe you don't think that way. I kind of think that way a little bit. I also think they should bring in some new maps for specialized game modes, and that's something that we're going to talk about here. I have some really cool ideas for this, so I won't get into that on this slide, but we'll get into it on the next one. Game modes. This is something I am so excited to talk about. I thought about this a lot. I really, really did. So I'm excited to share these with you guys. Capture the flag. Okay, hear me out. I've said this to people before, and they're like, that will never work. There's no way that you can do it. I disagree. I think you can do it. And it would be so simple. I literally said this in Discord. I was like, I even said this. I was like, it's not possible. It's not possible. Unless, and then I had this moment where I thought to myself, unless when you grab the flag, your hero transforms into something else with a set movement speed with no skill use, and then your whole team has to go into protective mode over you to help you to escort it to wherever you have to bring the flag. Think about like the Groot type character on a Rocco, right? Imagine you grab the flag and you turn into that character. You have a slowed down movement speed, and now basically it becomes like a 5v6 where your team has to protect you. So it's like becomes this like optimized strategy and opportunity based gameplay where like you want to get certain like key enemy players down and then make sure you're in like the right positioning to protect as best as you can, because you are going to be, down a player because someone's like carrying the flag. And then when they get an elim on the flag carrier, they drop the flag, and then it could either be like a reset type scenario or the flag remains there until somebody else grabs it again. But you move so slow that you don't have to worry about like loss of progression, right? Because if you move too slowly and then the flag can be reset, that would be a problem. So you need to be able to move like pretty fast, but then they could reset the flag, or you move really slowly, but then the flag just remains where it is. And it could be both, flag on one side and on the other side too. That would be really cool. I think that this is possible. I think this is very possible, and I think some of the maps would already be like pretty good for it. As long as the maps like aren't too big, like some of the domination maps they have right now, I think would be fine. Well, I forget the name of the one, but it's like it's purple. There's a ship in the middle of the domination map, and then it like flies away when the hill can become available to you. Has like the hidden staircases. I don't know the name of the level, but anyway, like that, I feel like that would be a great map for capture the flag. There are like different routes you can take. That would just be, I think that'd be really cool. Tower defense is another one. A good example for this would be Mobile Legends Bang Bang, or MLBB. They had an arcade mode in this game called Brawl. If you don't know what Mobile Legends is, it was like a knockoff League of Legends, but for mobile, before they made Wild Rift. But Mobile Legends is arguably better than a Wild Rift. I love this game. I played this game a ton. I never played League, but I played Mobile Legends a ton. There's a mode in their arcade setting called Brawl, where it's a single lane. It's just the middle lane, right? And there's like some little like side parts where you can hide, and they have some like little buffs or something, but it's one lane. And there are, I believe, if I remember correctly, it's been a little bit since I played the game, but there are two protective towers, and then there's the base. This could be cool. It doesn't have to have like the towers. It could just be the base. It could just be, each team has their own like base that you have to try to destroy, but it could be, a straight like shotgun style map like that, or it could be, a round map. So you have ways of like flanking and trying to deal like, little bits of poke damage and that kind of thing. A good example to kind of like maybe give a visualization of what I'm thinking is, I don't know if you guys played that Pokemon game on the Switch, Pokemon Unite, I think it was called, which was kind of like League of Legends-ish, much more simplistic, but like you were able to get in and like do poke damage on different towers and that kind of thing. I think it would be really sweet to see something like that come to play in this, and it's already working in our favor that heroes have different skill sets and they do different things. So like this would be a really cool way to utilize different skill sets in a different way. So this could be really cool, whether it's like a rounded one where you're sneaking in to deal like damage on one home base area, or if it is just the shotgun route where you have the towers, and the towers can deal damage. And like, I'm not trying to create like some kind of League or Mobile Legends ripoff to install within Marvel Rivals, but I think that they could do something, like this. That would be really, really fun to play. Another idea I had was just to do King of the Hill. I mean, hey, we basically already have it. right? With the regular domination play that we have right now, they could just adjust it a little bit to where like it's stalled if anyone from both teams is inside the hill, and then you also have to be the only one in it to get any time. It could move, it could shift around the map, so you got to change and fight in different locations. That would be really cool. Not hard to do. They already kind of have it going on. They could just adjust things a little bit. This would just be probably like the easiest thing that they could implement to just give us something new, and it'd be kind of silly in my opinion if they didn't. The other ones I wanted to talk about, and these I think would be really cool, would be like some form of bounty style gameplay, whether it's dropped item, hero bounty, or something performance based. We saw this, well, we've seen this in quite a few games, honestly, but Call of Duty is a good example of it. Kill Confirmed would be the dropped item example where you had to collect the dog tags from the enemy team and also collect your own teammates one to block them from the enemy team getting them. That would be cool. This would be really, really cool to see. Also, hero bounty. This photo isn't like, you know, exactly what I'm thinking for this, but like hero bounty would be just like, there could be like a mini map. We don't have a mini map in the game right now, but it could be something like that. Or it would just be that you get a notification at the beginning of the game of like who the enemy team's bounty is. So let's say it's, you know, Torch. Then your team has to actively like really try to get Torch taken down while the enemy team is like protecting Torch. But then also as Torch, you can't hide too much because you do need to help with damage, otherwise you know your team's gonna get overrun. So it creates that like balance of like how you play together and where you choose to have the fights. And since there wouldn't be like an objective like area necessarily, the battle could happen like anywhere where you got to go like find the enemy team and try and take them down while they like hold a, you know, whatever area they feel most comfortable in. But then also at the same time, like you have a bounty on your team, so it becomes that delicate balance of like, you know, the ebb and flow, the push and pull of the game of like where you're gonna fight and how you're gonna make this progression happen. Then when the bounty is eliminated, it just randomly swaps to another hero on the team. I think that would be really fun. Also, there's the performance-based one, which would be like the high-value target, I think is what it was called in Call of Duty. It can either be something that's, you know, elected at the beginning, and then as someone like outperforms you as the game goes on, they take over the high-value target. But I think most notably, and if I remember correctly, in X-Defiant, I played that game a little bit before the servers were taken down. I think that one had like a game mode where if you were doing super well, like you would become the high value target because you were performing so well. So then you getting elims as the high value target was worth more. But then also if you got elimed, it gave the enemy team a lot of points too. So that it creates that balance of like how aggressive do I actually play. I think that would be really, really fun. And that would be more like the team, you know, deathmatch side of this, where you kind of take, I guess you take the objective play out of it in the sense that we have it already, where it's like a set location. And now the objective becomes an individual on the other team. So it's just moving it. It opens up the whole map to be played in, rather than just like incrementally fighting your way through the maps like we are right now. I think this would create new team compositions. It would create new strategies. It would create more reasons to play in different areas throughout the map and to like exercise the use of you know, cover in different zones in the map and that kind of thing. And even just like, you know, ambushing and that kind of gameplay, it would change it. It would give these modes that I'm proposing right now. I'm pretty happy with the thought that I put into them, because these are all things that are different. They exist in other games, yes, but they are so different to what we have in Marvel Rivals right now, to where if they actually implemented these concepts and they brought these game modes into it, like I almost feel like there'd be no stopping this game. It would just become so much fun because you could pick all of these different styles to play. Like, I don't know. I think they should really consider this. I don't know if they'll ever see this video. I hope they do. I really hope they do, because this is some good stuff in my opinion. And on that note, I just want to thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. Let me know what you think about all of these things in the comments. Please don't be shy. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Join the Discord. Let's chat about it. Do you have some ideas that maybe I could cover in a new video as well? Some new game modes that maybe I haven't thought of. Like, the possibilities are endless. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't it. This isn't all that they could do. I just think that, you know, as a community, if we can come together and like get content like this seen and get people to think about these kind of things, Marvel Rivals could just, like, you know, the sky's the limit, really. It really is right now. So thank you again so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned for the next video. Be sure to subscribe, like, comment, join the Discord. I appreciate you guys so much. Cheers.